Alright, welcome to MTH250, Math 250, Introduction to Statistics here at Thomas University. My name is Josh Fix, and this is going to be like hopefully a pretty quick little video kind of run through just like the layout of the course. I'm going to create a separate video that will show you how to navigate Hawk's Learning, which is the online environment that we'll be using for the course. And that video will probably be posted sometime Monday evening, but this will kind of get you started the first day. Alright, so kind of run through class here. You come into Blackboard and you have a welcome to in the first week of class announcement here. You can see here that number one, you'll have the welcome video, and that's when this is you. This is what you're going to be watching, so that'll be posted right underneath there. Your first assignments are to go into the opening activities tab. Go into the test, quiz, and assignment tab. So here on the left, test, quiz, assignment tab, and complete the opening activities, and those should be completed by Sunday, August 20th. All of our work are pretty much, at this time, I've played around with this, but this time I'm going to stick around with work being due on Sunday evening at midnight or 11:59. The course schedule and syllabus. The course schedule and syllabus are located in the syllabus tab right here. There's no need, we'll get to that in just a minute, but you'll want to go up there and kind of read through the syllabus, and we're going to go through some stuff, but you want to read it more thoroughly, make sure you're comfortable. Let me know if you have any questions. Textbook. Alright, so please make plans to either purchase the Hawk's Learning access code from the TU bookstore or directly from the Hawk's Learning website. I believe that if you go to the TU bookstore, I believe they have the option of purchasing a hard copy or a soft copy of the textbook with the access code, but the most important thing is that you're going to need the access code. You could actually, I firmly believe that you could take this class without the textbook. Because you have an ebook inside of the environment. The resources you'll see inside the environment are pretty straightforward and guide you through, and so you have that as a reference. Maybe if you're a non-traditional student, just coming back into class, having a textbook is going to be valuable because you'll be able to kind of flip it open and look at information along with working off of the computer. So either way, you have 21 days to decide that, because you can, you have a 21 temporary access code that Hawk's Learning provides to allow you to kind of sort through your finances, to sort through your decisions. So there's no need to rush into any kind of panic here. One option that I know that we can probably work with is that if the TU bookstore does not have a soft copy or a paper copy of the textbook that you can purchase with the access code, I feel very confident that we can reach out to Hawk's Learning, and they'll provide us with an option for you to purchase like a loose leaf, that you could put in a notebook, and that would keep the cost down, or you could purchase a hardback. So just kind of, if you have questions with this, just reach out to me. Okay. Like I said, we'll have a separate video where we'll talk about the environment. You'll see what resources you have. You're going to have more than a week to kind of play around and be like, you know what, I want a book. I want a book to be able to look at, or you're like, oh no, man, the resources that are provided here are going to be fine with the electronic stuff. So plenty of time to look that over. However, please note this date. I'm asking that no later than Thursday, August 17th, that you have created your Hawk's Learning account. Doesn't mean you have to purchase anything, because you can use that free access code, and we'll look at that here in just a minute. So get that taken care of. I have an announcement down below that tells you how to create it. We'll come to that in just a minute. Make a note here. TU wants us to use their email address when we're communicating. So the best way to keep that, to follow that rule, is for you to create your Hawk's Learning account with your TU email address. I would highly recommend going along with that you set up your TU email on your cell phone. The TU email is a Microsoft Exchange, and so if you have an Apple device, you just choose Exchange, you enter your email address and your password, and bam, it's ready to go. And I believe an Android device is very similar. By no means is this a requirement, but I just feel like you have so much going on in your life, and you get done with work and you cook dinner and you take care of everything at home, and then the last thing you want to think about doing is going and sitting down at your computer to log in to check your email. So if it's on your phone, then you can like look at your phone real quickly and be like, oh, I'm good, there's no emails I need to go and do, or nothing I need to take care of today, and so you can just move on, because that's going to happen. So it's a convenience thing. It's by no means do I think you need to be a slave to your phone and a slave to what's going on here. It's just that it's that convenience. And what should you be doing right now? You should be doing the opening activity. So this is kind of like your opening thing for today. Read through this, follow through, let me know if you have any questions. Alright, so let's go ahead and roll down to, we'll come back to that. Let's go look at the syllabus real quick and talk about that. So you've got some policies here for Thomas University that are universal for all classes. I'll leave that alone for you to open that up and take a look at. You can see here that I'm going to have keyword is the course schedule, and the course schedule will also be attached to the syllabus, but you don't need to print the syllabus out. You do need the course schedule, and I'm finalizing that, kind of sorting through dates and making sure everything fits well into the semester. And so once I have that finalized, I'll send out an email and remind you to go and print it out. But that's your Bible. That's what you're going to see for, hey, this is what's due this week. This is what I need to take care of. Our syllabus, however, is not something you need to print out, so let's take a look at it. I'd like you to come back here and read through it again at another time, so that way you kind of become familiar with some of the statements and rules that are in place. So my name is Josh Fix. My email address is right there. There's my cell phone number. You're welcome to text me. You're welcome to call. I can tell you that, and we'll get further along, that I am a middle school science teacher in Leesburg, Georgia, and so I'm not going to probably answer your phone call in the middle of the day. And then even in the evening when you call, it's probably better for you to set up an appointment, because just like yourself, I have so many other things going on with my family and having a kid and just dinner and everything else and home. And so a lot of times what I do is if I don't see if it's not in my address book or my contact list, I don't always answer. I wait for the voicemail and I determine who it is. If you send me a text and say, hey, I need to speak with you tonight, I'll see that text and I'll say, hey, okay, well I have time here, and then I can we can coordinate time. So just kind of keep that in mind. I hope that doesn't come across the wrong way, but we all have busy schedules, and I hope you understand. With emails, if you do send questions, I try to respond. I will respond within 24 hours. Sometimes on the weekend, I'm not going to lie to you. If I go away on Friday, I might not come back till Sunday. I might not respond in that time frame there. The one thing, and listen to this carefully, if it's Sunday afternoon and you're trying to finish something up, and you get through there, and about halfway through the assignment, and you're just having troubles, and you've been working on it, you're more than welcome to send me an email and let me know what your question is, and then on that Sunday afternoon I'll make note of it, and I'll say, oh well, look, they contacted me at 8 o'clock on Sunday and I didn't have time to get back to them. And so I'll look at giving extensions and not taking away points in that situation. I understand that sometimes Sunday evening is the time that you have to do your work. I would ask that you try to work on your work throughout the week, a little bit at a time. Maybe one section an evening, or get started on it. And but to try to cram everything in on Sunday afternoon, I can tell you from experience, only causes anxiety. And so try to do your best to kind of spread your work out throughout the week and become dedicated to this. So let's see, a lot of stuff there I was talking about, just kind of freelancing my conversation. You can read through all this stuff. Here we go, let's talk about this. So how's this class going to break down? So Hawk's Learning, we have homework assignment that we're going to take care of inside of there, and we'll look more closely at this, but it's the certified homework that counts for a grade, and it'll make more sense what I'm saying later on. You have practice and you have certified, and we'll take a look real briefly here shortly in just a moment. You have 2 spreadsheet email submission assignments. Those directions and stuff will come shortly with detailed rubrics and everything that you need to follow to be able to get a good grade on those. You have a discussion board for your opening activity that post, and those are included in your final grade. And so that's 30% of your grade comes from that work right there. You have 6 tests for 50% of your grade. You have a cumulative final exam that comes from those 6 tests that has to be proctored by ProctorU, and that's 20% of your overall grade. Follow standard letter grade system. Alright, so this is an online class. The course content, instruction, and interaction occurs entirely online and asynchronously through Blackboard and specific software. And that specific software is going to be Hawks Learning. Some important dates here. Since this is an online class, besides with the exception of fall break and Thanksgiving break, I tend not to observe these like Labor Day, in the sense that, I just count that as, if you want to work on schoolwork that day, you can, but otherwise I don't add a day on to the amount of time you have for homework that week. Whereas with fall break, I don't expect you to have any work done during fall break, and then over Thanksgiving, same situation. So kind of keep that in mind. Alright, so there's some information about the textbook. The ISBN for you to just have just the access code to this is right there. So if you wanted to go and purchase it from Amazon or some other site, you could. Excuse me. But that's the information for it. Like I said, you can purchase the access code directly from Hawks Learning itself, and we'll see that shortly. You can purchase it from the online bookstore at Thomas University, or you can go on campus and purchase it. And all the prices should be very similar because they've worked with us on those prices. If you have questions about that, please reach out. Alright, so for ProctorU, this is important. I'm going to go through this so you hear it here, you hear it in an email, or you see it in an email and so forth later. For ProctorU, you have to have speakers. You have to be able to hear the proctor. You have to be able to talk to them. So speakers and headphones, or I'm sorry, headphones of some kind. So like your iPhone headphones work really well for that. You don't have to buy anything special. You have to have a webcam. The proctor has to be able to see you and see your surroundings the entire time. And then there's the microphone. So a lot of new laptops have all of the speaker, headphone, or the speaker and the microphone all included with the webcam. But this is very important. Every semester it's inevitable that people come to me and say, I didn't realize we had to have this and this and this, and so if you haven't used ProctorU, that's don't freak out, don't panic, but they ask that you have a computer in a quiet area, and so that way you can be proctored and be watched that whole time. So it's a little bit weird, but you'll be fine. So the other required thing is that a TI-83 or 84 graphing calculator. Now I will tell you that in the past, what I've done is that when we're doing some of these questions, I've allowed you to also utilize easycalculation.com, which is a website that kind of does the same calculations. Because what we're really looking at here is we're not going to do any calculations by hand necessarily. Like, we're not going to find the standard deviation by hand. We're going to use technology to do that, and then you're going to talk to me and demonstrate that you understand how to use the standard deviation and what it means. So we're going to cut out the calculations, and like I said, we're using technology. So whether you have a TI-83 or 84, or you decide to go purchase one, or I'm not going to lie to you, what I would recommend is to ask some friends. They probably have a high school student or a college student that has one that you could borrow for a semester. Look on Facebook, go to one of the marketplaces and try to find one. Go to the pawn stores and pawn shops and buy one there. If you go to a pawn shop and let's say you pay $50 for it, or you go on Facebook and you pay $50 for a graphing calculator, I mean, I feel very confident in saying that you'll be able to sell that thing for $50 when you're done with it, versus going to the store and paying $100 or $80 or whatever dollars for one of them. So, any questions? Like I said, just email me or let me know. So final exam, it's a cumulative final exam. It'll be taken sometime during the week of Monday, December 4th to Friday, December 8th. When you take this exam, you will not be allowed to use your book. You will be allowed to use one sheet of notes front and back. You will, if you're using easycalculation.com, you will be able to use that website in replacement of your calculator. There's no need to use a word processor. You can use your calculator like it says. You will be able to use scratch paper, and if you need to use the restroom during your 2-hour period, it really ends up, maybe 3 hours because of the setup with ProctorU. Then let me know ahead of time, and then I can make an exception. Okay, you'll have 120 minutes or 2 hours. Some things about ProctorU is you'll need to set up your appointment at least 72 hours in advance, otherwise you'll be charged an additional fee. Let's see. ProctorU exams cannot be taken in the TU library, or in a public environment. You must have a private environment with not a lot of things going on around you. Before you take the test, like when I say before, like days or a day or so before you take the test, you'll want to go to this website here, and I'll provide this information again as we get towards the end of the semester. You go to this website, and it basically helps you make sure your computer's up to speed, and you've got all the updated plugins and stuff that you're going to need for their environment. Let's see, so you need a reliable internet connection. Okay, so if you live out in the country, you might want to find a place that's got a little more reliable connection. You need a webcam, headphones or speakers, and a working microphone. You'll need an identification, student or government based, and let's see, I think you can read the rest of that stuff there. Alright, course policies. So here's a snippet of the course schedule, and you'll kind of see that this is what it'll kind of look like, and there's eventually, when this is ready, you'll print it out. So you can see I already have the opening activities already posted here, and it said they're due on the 20th, and you can see that this is your list of things to do, and I'll show you where those are in just a moment. And then actually right now you already have these homework assignments 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4 ready to go. You're more than welcome to go and poke around in there and kind of see what's going on. They're designed so that you can work them as many times as you want until you get the grade that you want before the due date. So you're not going to be penalized for doing it 10 times if that's what you want to do. So please feel free to play around with that, but I will have a more directed video on how to navigate Hawk's Learning's environment. Oh, looks like I forgot to clean up that paragraph right there. So please forgive this paragraph right here which says method of instruction. So basically what's going to happen is that I'll address method of instruction when I give you the video with Hawk's Learning. So if you kind of just disregard this, I'll get this paragraph updated. Test policy, you only have one attempt at a test, but if you have practiced and certified your homework and asked questions over the homework, then there won't be any surprises. Tests are my final measurement of your content knowledge over that topic, and late penalties do apply. Okay, the final is cumulative, and you'll take that during that scheduled time. You can see late penalty will apply. Makeup work, if you're going to miss something, just reach out to me before it's time for it. Don't email me the day after and be like, oh, I missed the test. If you know you're not going to be able to take the test on time, email me and let me know. You're an adult, I'm an adult, and I understand that you have life going on, and so communication is important. That's the job skill that I want you to leave my course with, along with the content knowledge that you're going to gain, but that communication piece. Homework will help you prepare for the exam. All homework problems should be worked and kept in an organized fashion with your notes for each section. Keeping your homework problems neat and organized will be to your advantage later in the class. When you're doing the homework, and we'll go through this more thoroughly when I show you the video on Hawks, you have the option of hitting the tutor button, and the tutor button will give you 3 commands, and that's step by step, learn, or solution, and that'll help you complete. So 10% is kind of my standard late penalty. So if you get past the due date, that's the standard thing. I really don't want to see you go to Google and search. I know that you could, and I know sometimes you're going to want to. And I'm not saying that you can't. I just, if you're having a hard time with a question, I think that we have chosen Hawks Learning because the resources they provide are so solid. And so instead of going to Google and trying to search and then having to kind of assimilate the information and tie it together yourself, I think that it'd be probably more valuable for you to just go ahead and email me if the resources Hawks are providing are not helping, and let me guide you down the path. Alright, so that gets through the syllabus. Let's go back to Blackboard. And like I said, once that course schedule is ready to go, I will send out an email. So let's take a look at the test quiz assignment. So the only assignment that you're going to have for this class inside of Blackboard is the opening activities. And you can see here I forgot to change the date. That'll get changed here in just a minute. So you open up the opening activities and you've got a reflection, an introduction, you got a little thing about discussion board netiquette, the syllabus, which we've already talked about one time, but please go back through and look at it again. You have the course schedule, like I said, that I haven't finalized it, and that I should have it posted by Wednesday. And then once you've done all of these things right here, once you've watched the opening video, once you've gone through the video right now that you're listening to, and once you've gone through and done all the reflections, then you go through here and you click on this little form right here. And basically what this form does is it's kind of like collecting a little bit of information from you, so that way I kind of have some updated stuff. Sometimes people move, and so this will give me the most updated things in case I need it. And then it also has the syllabus agreement. It's kind of making sure that you're telling me, yeah, I understand, I read the syllabus, I listened to all this stuff here, I listened to the welcome video that you're listening to right now, and it's just kind of accountability piece. So that's the last thing you'll do there with the opening activities. Alright, so let's go back to the discussion board real quickly. So part of the opening activities, you go to the discussion board and you've got an introduction forum, you've got a reflection forum, and then you got some spots for some general questions or syllabus and course schedule questions. So you're more than welcome the first couple weeks of class here to post syllabus and course schedule questions, and I'll respond to them. And if you have a question, you can go there and look, or you can send me an email. And then if your question's kind of one that I think that everyone needs to hear, I'll post your question and response for others to see. Otherwise, I have general questions, but if you have questions about content throughout the semester, I really prefer that you just email me. I don't always go to the discussion board and utilize it, and maybe it's something that I could change about my course, but I try to keep this where you're really kind of just working at your own pace, kind of learning the content, practicing the content, interacting with me, and there's not a ton of interaction with your peers. So I do have an introduction forum though, a spot for you to go in. You can see where I kind of introduce myself a little bit, and then let's see what else we got here. Discussion board, and then we have the reflection forum, and what I want you to use the reflection forum for is that I want you to utilize this as like an opportunity for you to kind of like set some goals for yourself. How are you going to overcome like the difficulties of being in college as possibly with a full-time job and a family and kids and everything else going on in life, and so how are you going to do that? Like what dedication are you going to make so that way you can be successful this semester? And that's kind of what that reflection forum is for. And what I hope everyone takes the opportunity to do is to read through those. After when everyone posts this week, go back through and just kind of read through. I'm not going to require you to post and respond to anybody's post or anything, but just go back in and take a look at those. So I'm at 24 minutes right now, so let me just take a couple minutes, and that kind of goes through everything in Blackboard. We've gone through the syllabus, and so let's go ahead and go back to the announcements, and let's roll up a little bit. And just real briefly, I've got a post here about methods of communication. Just go ahead and take a look at that. I kind of more specifically talk about, like, phone calls and emails and text messages and stuff like that. So here's the information. This is in the announcements about creating a Hawks Learning account. So I have a PDF right here that you can click on. This brings up, and it's kind of, you could print this out if you wanted to. It kind of gives you, and you can kind of keep it. It's got the phone number. The cool part about Hawks Learning and why we chose them is because they literally are in South Carolina. Like, when you call, you're going to talk to a real person that lives in a real house, like in South Carolina. And that's kind of special, kind of nice. So if you have any problems, please feel free to call them. But this little sheet right here, you can print out, or you can just have it pulled up. I also have a little video that walks you through how to create your account. I didn't create it. It's created by Hawks. And then right here's the link to where you're going to go. So you want to bookmark this right here. So you click on this guy, it'll open up a new tab, and this is what you want to bookmark. This is where you're going to go. So I'm going to delete, well, I don't need to delete it. So you're going to come in here and you're going to click on create a new account, and then you'll follow that information that was provided in that video and in that sheet I just showed you a minute ago. So let me log in as a student and show you what it's going to look like. So when you come into your course here, this is after you've already logged in, you've already created your account. I just want to kind of show you that, here I've created my account. It says I have 20 days left. And once I'm ready to purchase, I can either activate my account a couple different ways. I'll click on that. I can either with that 15-digit license number that I purchased from a bookstore or someplace, I could type that in and click activate, or I can purchase online. And I can go straight to their website and go ahead and make the purchase there. So it's $72 versus $82 from the bookstore. So you might want to consider that. And like I said, if you're interested, this would just be an access code. This is just getting you the code to the online environment with the ebook. If you want a hard copy or a copy of the book, please reach out to me and let me know, or check with the TU bookstore and see what they have, and we'll go from there. Let me hide this, and okay, so I decided not to, so I'm just using my access code here, and so now I'm ready to go in. So here I am in my course, and you can kind of play around with this. And like I said, my other video will be a little more thorough than this, a lot more thorough. But here are your assignments right here. You click on this, and please take some time and go around and play around with this and see. So what you have is you have your Learn right here. So you can kind of click on this guy, and you can go through here, and you can you got some pages you can scroll through and read. And this is kind of like your book. You can see all this stuff right here, and the definitions and pictures of different things explaining the whole groups and the so forth. You can see there's total pages there. Let's see what we got for watch. So when we go to watch, so we'll get more specific about how we're going to utilize that in the next video, but for now, you can, like I said, just go play around with this. So you can go into Learn, you can see what's going on here, and when you're done with Learn, you can end when you're ready, and then you can go to Practice. So you notice you got Learn, Practice, and Certify. So there's no quizzes. Your quiz is the Certify. So instead of having homework for this section and then a quiz for this section, this is your homework. All of this is your homework, but the part that closes it out is the certify. And we'll talk more specifically about how you certify, what happens when you're certifying in the other video. So what I would do initially is I would come in here and I would go into my practice, and I would just kind of start working through the problems. And you can see here that after you've watched the video and taken some notes, you've got the tutor here. So if you weren't sure, from that tutor button at the bottom left, you have step by step where they're going to walk you through, make you think about it. You've got Learn, which will take you back to where we were just a minute ago, or you can just go right to the solution. And you can jot down some notes about it, and they kind of give you a brief explanation. When you're done, you go back to Practice, you try a similar, And that's the beauty of the software is that now you have another question that you can ask, do again. I'll say it's population, see if I got it right. Okay, I got it right. Well, I'm going to try another one because I guessed that time. So I try similar, gives me another one. Oh, okay, well I'm going to say it's sample this time. And I submit, and it's, oh, okay, well they'll explain it to me. And so kind of play around and just kind of see, like, remember this is low stakes right here. Like, you can do these homework problems as much as you want, and no points will be taken away as long as you're finishing by the due date. So in the next week or so, up until you see that post with the video, probably like tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening at the latest, of more specific things about what's going on inside of Hawks. But that puts us at, let's see, let me move this down real quick, about a 30-minute video, and I apologize, I'm pretty long-winded sometimes. So yeah, so 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So the secret word for the when you're inside your little this little opening activity thing here, where you're going to click on and the TU info and agreement form, the secret word is bananas. Okay, so the secret word is bananas, and that'll let me know that you watched the video all the way through if you type in bananas. Alright, feel free to email me questions. Feel free to give me a call if you just need to talk to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I look forward to a great semester. Thanks so much.